Good evening, friends, and welcome to the first press briefing of 2016. Let me take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy, fruitful, and creatively fulfilling 2016. Of course, it's not begun on a very good note, as you know, as far as we are concerned, with the terrorist attack and today the demise of the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. But anyway, this is something that we'll have to deal with. I'll start with a couple of announcements, and then we can go into the Q&A. I begin with an important announcement that the Honorable External Affairs Minister has already tweeted about a short while ago. Those of you who have not followed the tweet, it said basically that following a proposal made by Honorable External Affairs Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister has approved the merger of the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs with the Ministry of External Affairs. As you know, since the creation of the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs in 2004, there have always been two separate ministers in charge of the work of the two separate ministries. It is only since 2014 that one minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, and one Minister of State, retired General V.K. Singh, have handled both the portfolios. As a result of this, it soon became apparent that there was more that could be done to utilize the natural synergy between our foreign policy objectives and diaspora outreach, and that the division between the ministries was entirely unnatural, resulting in duplication of work and unnecessary delays. As you know, the entire execution of decisions and policies taken by the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs lay on our missions and posts abroad, which come under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of External Affairs. Indeed, even for the Ministry of Overseas Indian Affairs responses to Parliament questions, it needed to rely on data provided by our missions and posts. So keeping in line with the government's overall objective of minimizing government and maximizing governance, the process of merger of the two ministries has now begun. The administrative arrangements of the merger are currently being worked out, and the details will be made available to you in due course. The arrangements are being personally supervised by the External Affairs Minister to ensure that the current resources and capabilities are strengthened and all the needs and concerns of the diaspora are fully taken care of. Let me also add that in line with the change, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas will be celebrated by the Ministry of External Affairs on the 9th of January. Our missions and posts abroad have also been tasked with appropriate celebrations abroad, including the live telecast of the External Affairs Minister's address on that occasion. Do I need to say this in Hindi as well? मित्रों, मैं अपनी बात की शुरुआत एक महत्वपूर्ण घोषणा के साथ करना चाह रहा हूं, जिसके बारे में आपको माननीय विदेश मंत्री के ट्वीट ने अवगत करा दिया होगा। प्रधानमंत्री ने प्रवासी भारतीय कार्य मंत्रालय तथा विदेश मंत्रालय के विलय के प्रस्ताव का अनुमोदन कर दिया है। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, वर्ष 2004 में प्रवासी भारतीय कार्य मंत्रालय के गठन के पश्चात इन दोनों मंत्रालयों का कार्यभार संभालने के लिए दो अलग अलग मंत्री रहे हैं। ऐसा वर्ष 2014 के बाद से ही हुआ है कि एक ही मंत्री तथा एक ही राज्य मंत्री का दोनों विभागों का कार्यभार दिया गया हो। शीघ्र ही यह स्पष्ट हो गया कि हमारी विदेश नीति के उद्देश्यों और भारतीय समुदाय के बीच मौजूद स्वाभाविक सहक्रिया का उपयोग करने के लिए कुछ अधिक करने की जरूरत थी और मंत्रालयों का विभाजन अप्रासंगिक था, जिसके परिणाम स्वरूप कार्यों का दोहराव और अनावश्यक देरी हो रही थी। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, प्रवासी भारतीय कार्य मंत्रालय के समस्त निर्णयों और नीतियों का प्रभाव विदेश स्थित हमारे मिशनों पर पड़ता है, जो कि इस मंत्रालय के क्षेत्राधिकार में आते हैं। वास्तव में प्रवासी भारतीय कार्य मंत्रालय द्वारा संसद प्रश्नों का उत्तर देने के लिए भी हमारे मिशनों द्वारा प्रदान किए गए आंकड़ों पर ही निर्भर रहना पड़ता था। इसलिए न्यूनतम शासन और अधिकतम सुशासन के सरकार के समग्र उद्देश्य के अनुरूप मंत्रालयों के समामेलन की प्रक्रिया अब आरंभ हो गई है। वर्तमान में समामेलन की प्रशासनिक व्यवस्थाएं की जा रही हैं तथा आने वाले समय में इसकी जानकारी आपको उपलब्ध करा दी जाएगी। विदेश मंत्री द्वारा इन व्यवस्थाओं का व्यक्तिगत रूप से निरीक्षण किया जा रहा है ताकि ये सुनिश्चित किया जा सके कि वर्तमान संसाधनों एवं क्षमताओं को सुदृढ़ कर लिया गया है और भारतीय समुदाय की सभी आवश्यकताओं एवं सरोकारों का पूर्ण रूप से ध्यान रखा गया है. My second announcement pertains to the visit of the Foreign Minister of Syria. His Excellency Mr. Walid al-Muallim, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Syrian Arab Republic, would be visiting India from the 11th to the 14th of January 2016 at the invitation of the External Affairs Minister. He will meet the External Affairs Minister for bilateral talks of mutual interest. He will also meet the Indian leadership during his stay. His Excellency Mr. Walid al-Muallim will be accompanied by 4 other delegation members: Dr. Faisal Miqdad, the Vice Foreign Minister; Mr. Ahmed Arnoos, Advisor to the Deputy Prime Minister; Mr. Bassam Al-Khatib, Chief of Cabinet of the Deputy Prime Minister; and Ms. Giyad Zariq from the Minister's Office. That concludes my announcements, and now I'm sure all of you are very keen to get into the Q&A. Vinita.
Hi, Vikas. I would like you to confirm or deny whether the Indian consulate in Afghanistan, Mazar-e-Sharif, was the direct target of the terrorists, and who were the people behind them?
Yes, I can confirm that the Indian consulate in Mazar-e-Sharif was indeed the target of a terrorist attack. The reports that we have received from the Afghan authorities on the 6th of January indicate that armed terrorists attacked the Consulate General of India in Mazar-e-Sharif in Balkh province of northern Afghanistan on the night of January 3, 2016 with heavy ammunition like RPGs. ITBP security personnel guarding the consulate kept the attackers at bay till the Afghan National Defense and Security Forces, the ANDSF, arrived at the scene to neutralize the terrorists. The operation lasted till the night of the 4th of January 2016, when the ANDSF were able to eliminate the 4 terrorists who had been holed up in the building near the consulate. 1 Afghan National Police personnel lost his life, while 9 ANDSF personnel were injured during the attack. As you are aware, President Ghani telephoned Prime Minister on the 4th of January and strongly condemned the terrorist attack in Pathankot and briefed the Prime Minister about the terrorist attack that had just taken place at the consulate in Mazar-e-Sharif. Prime Minister Modi thanked the President of Afghanistan for ensuring the security of the Indian Consulate General and its personnel. The Afghan government authorities and its various agencies, and also the provincial authorities of Balkh, displayed tremendous coordination in foiling the attempts of the terrorists to attack the Indian consulate. We salute the exemplary courage and admirable resilience shown by the ANDSF personnel during the operations, which resulted in keeping the consulate officials out of harm's way. Well, the investigations from the Afghan security agencies is now going on, and we await the details from them. Okay, Ranjit.
What is the status of the proposed foreign secretary level talks between India and Pakistan on 15th January?
Well, let me preface this with, I think, a broader explanation of our Pakistan policy. The government's Pakistan policy is clear and consistent. India wants friendly relations with all its neighbors, including Pakistan. We have extended a hand of friendship to Pakistan, but we will not countenance cross-border terrorist attacks. As you would recall, the decision to commence a comprehensive bilateral dialogue with Pakistan followed the constructive meeting of the National Security Advisors in Bangkok, in which the central concerns of terrorism, peace and security, and tranquility along the line of control were discussed. The terrorist attack on the Pathankot air base has once again put renewed focus on the challenge posed by cross-border terrorism. As far as we are concerned, the ball is now in Pakistan's court. The immediate issue in front of us is Pakistan's response to the terrorist attack and the actionable intelligence that has been provided to it. I think it will be premature for me to say anything more at this point.
Sir.
भारत की जो पाकिस्तान के प्रति जो नीति है वो बहुत स्पष्ट है। भारत अपने सभी जो पड़ोसी देश हैं उनके साथ मित्रता चाहता है। हमने पाकिस्तान की तरफ भी मित्रता का हाथ बढ़ाया था, लेकिन इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि हम क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिस्ट अटैक को बर्दाश्त करने के लिए तैयार हैं। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, पाकिस्तान के साथ जो निर्णय हुआ था कि एक समग्र वार्ता, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बायलैटरल डायलॉग प्रारंभ की जाएगी, वो इसलिए शुरुआत उसकी हम लोग कर सक रहे थे क्योंकि उससे तुरंत पहले जो राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार हैं उनकी बहुत अच्छी एक मुलाकात बैंकॉक में हुई थी, जिसमें उन्होंने आतंकवाद से जुड़े सभी विषयों पर, पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी से जुड़े और लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पे शांति बनाए रखने के लिए जो कुछ किया जा सकता है, उन सब बातों पर बहुत अच्छी चर्चा की थी। अब पठानकोट पर जो हमला हुआ है, आतंकी हमला हुआ है, उससे क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म पर एक बार फिर से फोकस हो गया है। इसलिए इस समय हम यही कहेंगे कि अब पहल पाकिस्तान को करनी है। पाकिस्तान को हमने एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस प्रदान कर दी है इस आतंकी हमले के बारे में, और अब हमें देखना है कि पाकिस्तान उस एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस के ऊपर क्या निर्णय लेता है, क्या एक्शन लेता है। इससे ज्यादा अभी मुझे इससे ज्यादा और कुछ कहना नहीं है।
Sir, follow up to this. Our policy consistently has been that terror and talks cannot go together. India is sticking to this point or not?
Of course, we are sticking, but we have said we must have talks on terror, and that is why the national security advisors met in Bangkok, and they discussed all issues connected to terrorism. Yes. See, right now for us, the immediate priority is, there was a conversation, as you know, between our Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of Pakistan. During that conversation, our Prime Minister very strongly urged the Prime Minister of Pakistan to take action. Actionable intelligence in regard to the terrorist attack and the links with the perpetrators in Pakistan was provided to the Pakistani side. The Pakistani Prime Minister promised us prompt and decisive action. We now await that prompt and decisive action. I'll just restrict myself to that. Yes, gentleman at the back.
सर, पाकिस्तानी मीडिया के हवाले से खबर आ रही है कि 72 घंटे में पाकिस्तान जो एविडेंस भारत सरकार ने प्रोवाइड किए हैं उस पर कार्रवाई करेगा, और इस सिलसिले में रेड्स भी शुरू हो गई हैं। अभी हामिद मीर का शायद फोन चला है। मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं आपकी प्रतिक्रिया।
नहीं, देखिए, मुझे तो ऐसी कोई जानकारी अभी नहीं मिली है, लेकिन अगर ये ऐसा हो रहा है तो बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है। इसके मतलब है कि पाकिस्तान जो उन्होंने जो कहा है कि वो करेंगे वो कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जब तक मेरे पास ऑफिशियली, मैं हामिद मीर के बयान के ऊपर तो नहीं जाऊंगा, जब मेरे पास ऑफिशियली इसकी आएगी तब मैं अपनी प्रतिक्रिया दूंगा। Stranger.
So when you say prompt and decisive action, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean arrest of all those in the JEM who are involved? Do you want them to be sent to India? What is it that you've told the Pakistan?
Look, I'm not going to parse the meaning of prompt and decisive. We are not imposing any deadline. At the same time, prompt means prompt, and we will go by the common sense interpretation of that word.
सर, प्रधानमंत्री जी मॉस्को से चले काबुल आए, काबुल से चले लाहौर आए, फिर दिल्ली आए, और काबुल अफगानिस्तान में भी हमले हुए, फिर हमारे यहाँ हमले हुए। तो क्या नहीं लगता है कि ये दोनों के तार कहीं एक ही जगह यानी पाकिस्तान में ही जुड़े हुए हैं? और क्या नवाज शरीफ से जो बात हुई प्रधानमंत्री की, उन्होंने अफगानिस्तान पर भी चर्चा की?
नहीं, उन्होंने जो प्रधानमंत्रियों की जो बातचीत हुई थी वो केवल पठानकोट पे जो आतंकी हमला हुआ है उसके संदर्भ में बातचीत हुई थी। अब तार किसके कहां जुड़े हैं ये तो इन्वेस्टिगेशंस के ही पता लगेगा। जहां तक हमारा मानना है, हम किसी भी तरह के क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिस्ट अटैक को नहीं झेलने को तैयार हैं और हम उसके प्रति कड़ी कार्रवाई करेंगे। As I said, please mark my words. I said we are waiting for Pakistan to take action on the actionable intelligence that has been provided to them and the assurances that have been given to us of prompt and decisive action. Obviously, if that prompt and decisive action happens, it creates a different dynamic. Yes.
Between the two prime ministers, do you think is it a strategic talk or there are more into it which needs some explanation to the media?
No, I don't understand. What do you mean by strategic talks?
No, the national advisors have met at the Thailand and they have, made certain strategic dialogue. So strategic dialogue means the next time when we meet, we'll have some strategy on the, the affairs of the two nations. So do you feel some strategy has been worked out for the talks or it is just announcement from the two nations?
You're talking about the conversation between the two prime ministers?
No, the entire strategy
Look,
of looking
but
after
I
the
explained to you, I
terrorism.
think you did not observe, what I said in my response to the second question was that we were able to commence the process of a comprehensive bilateral dialogue based on the constructive discussions that were held between the two national security advisors in Bangkok. Because for us, that's a very important concern.
All right, I just comprehend my question. So are you satisfied with the present strategy which the two nations or the two external affairs are taking on?
See, there is no question of being satisfied or unsatisfied. We have to deal with the situation as it emerges. As I said, a very positive atmosphere had been created following Prime Minister's visit to Lahore. And now we are faced with a difficult situation because of the terrorist attack on the Pathankot airbase. Now we are dealing with the aftermath of that particular terrorist incident.
One of the things that was spoken of, as you said, was that you were creating an atmosphere conducive to talking, and you talked on terror in Bangkok, which is what led to this meeting. There's also been a general acceptance that whenever there is a rapprochement between the two countries, somebody tries to derail this peace process. When you say prompt and decisive, are you then going to allow these foreign secretary talks to be derailed by the elements that want to derail the talks?
Look, we are not derailing anything. We are not foreshadowing anything. We are not imposing any deadlines. That's what I said. Let us not put the cart before the horse. Let us deal with the immediate situation in front of us. I mean, media unfortunately wants everything in black and white. Are the talks happening or not happening? Yeah, that is what was assured to us by the Pakistan Prime Minister. So, but as I said, I am not going to parse the definition of prompt. That prompt means 72 hours, or it means 5 days, or it means 7 days. Prompt means prompt. No, as I said, let us not get into that. We will cross that bridge when we come to that bridge. Right now, as I told you, our immediate priority is getting to the bottom of this terrorist attack, ensuring that, investigations into this are carried out by the right quarters.
वो क्या था, प्रैक्टिस की थी, या आईएसआई का भी हाथ हो सकता है, तो क्या इसमें आतंकवादी है या टेररिस्ट ग्रुप है या फिर वहाँ की जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है उनका भी हाथ?
जो भी है ये तो पाकिस्तान को
भारतीय एजेंसी क्या
नहीं, मैं देखिए एजेंसीज क्या कह रही है, मैं उसमें नहीं जा रहा हूं। हम लोग ने पाकिस्तान को कुछ प्रकार की इंफॉर्मेशन दी है। अब पाकिस्तान को उस इंफॉर्मेशन के ऊपर एक्शन लेना है और उस एक्शन में जितने भी इंडिविजुअल्स हैं, ग्रुप्स हैं, वो सब उसमें शामिल हो जाते हैं उस एक्शन में। जो हम लोग का उनसे कहना है कि आपको ये क्रॉस बॉर्डर आतंकी हमले रोकने हैं। इस क्रॉस बॉर्डर आतंकी हमलों के पीछे जिस भी इंडिविजुअल का हाथ है, जिस भी ग्रुप का हाथ है, उसके खिलाफ आप एक्शन लीजिए।
क्लियर नहीं कर रहे हैं कि प्रॉम्प्ट क्या है और कितने समय में ये
देखिए क्लियर क्यों हम करें?
तो हम ये जानना चाह रहे हैं, टू द पॉइंट जानना चाह रहे हैं, क्या 15 तारीख को वार्ता हो पाएगी या नहीं?
15 तारीख को अभी आप हम लोग 7 तारीख में हैं। 15 तारीख अभी 8 दिन दूर है। हम देखते हैं कि अभी आज से और तब के बीच में क्या होता है। आप भी देखिएगा क्या होता है।
Can you confirm if Mr. Modi will be meeting Mr. Nawaz Sharif in Washington end of March?
देखिए अभी वो 15 की बात कर रहे हैं, आप तो end of March, आप तो फरवरी और मार्च में आप चले।
There are reports that the Prime Minister is likely.
देखिए, all I can say is Prime Minister of India has been invited by President Obama for the Nuclear Security Summit. As and when a decision is taken that Prime Minister is attending, then we will deal with these issues.
There are reports that he is going to Kenya next month. Is that correct? Can you say?
No. Tripti. Manish, एक सेकंड।
I understand that our foreign secretary is meeting his Japanese counterpart, and this is almost coincided with the worrisome testing of the hydrogen bomb by North Korea. To what extent do you think this will cast a shadow on the progress of the India-Japan civil nuclear cooperation?
No, I don't think this has any impact on that. I mean, it's not as if this is the first time North Korea has tested a nuclear weapon. They have done this in the past. We have expressed deep concern in the past as well. And we have done so again through our press release of yesterday.
Sir?
Yes, Manish.
सर मेरा सवाल ये है कि जैसा कि आप कह रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान को आप लोगों ने कुछ जरूरी सूचनाएं मुहैया कराई है, क्या पठानकोट हमले में पाकिस्तान के किसी सरकारी तंत्र का हाथ नहीं था या था, इसको लेकर भी कोई सूचना है या फिर हम
देखिए
क्लीन चिट दे रहे हैं?
वो सूचना क्या है, वो एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस क्या है, वो हम पब्लिक में तो हम उसको रखेंगे नहीं. जिनके पास वो सूचना पहुंचनी थी, जिनके पास वो इन्फॉर्मेशन पहुंचनी थी, उन तक पहुंच चुकी है. उन्होंने एक्नॉलेज कर लिया है, उन्होंने कहा है वी आर वर्किंग ऑन द लीड्स प्रोवाइडेड बाय इंडिया. अब देखते हैं नतीजा क्या निकलता है. प्लीज. यस.
Many Indian media is reporting that this terrorist attack was conducted by Jaish-e-Mohammed. Can Indian government confirm this point?
No, as I said, this is a matter for investigation by the Pakistani authorities on the basis of the evidence that we have provided them. Once they have investigated, then we will know exact identity of who is behind this. Yes.
This is regarding the broader strategy vis-a-vis Pakistan, starting from the NSA level talks in Bangkok. Now, in terms of talks, has India insisted on bringing the Pakistan army on board during the talks, given that in the past so many years, engaging only with the civilian government has seemingly been ineffective?
Well, their national security advisor is a former army officer. Yes.
Within the government regarding the situation prevailing between Saudi Arabia and Iran?
No, I mean, we have, as you know, friendly relations with both countries, and we would hope that they are able to resolve the differences in a peaceful manner, and international, responsibilities in terms of protection of diplomats, etc., are adhered to by all sides. Elizabeth.
So this is with reference to the Syrian foreign minister's visit. I presume ISIL will be one of the issues discussed on, which will be on the table. I'm just wondering, last week there was this, victory by the Iraqi army. They took over Ramadi. Does the Indian government see it as a significant victory against ISIL?
I think I was given some input on that. I'm just trying to locate that. Yes, we welcome the liberation of the city of Ramadi by the Iraqi armed forces from the control of ISIS. India strongly supports the Iraqi people and the government in their war against terror and their efforts to uphold national sovereignty and preserve their territorial integrity.
विकास जी, अभी जितने सवाल हैं भारत पाक संबंधों के परिप्रेक्ष्य में जो भी माहौल है, जो इतिहास है पहले और आज की स्थिति में, मेरा सवाल है कि भारत सरकार आशा और निराशा के परिप्रेक्ष्य में आशा और निराशा को लेकर कितना प्रतिशत देती है कि जिससे कि हम फिर आगे वार्ता और आगे डायलॉग और आगे कंटिन्यू उसको हम आगे बढ़ाते रहें. आप कितने आशान्वित हैं, उसका प्रतिशत क्या है? मतलब आप
हम आशा निराशा के बेसिस पे नहीं चलते हैं, हम रियलिज्म के बेसिस पे चलते हैं. हमारे सामने एक पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन है और हमें देखना है उस सिचुएशन से अब क्या निकलता है, और जो सिचुएशन पे निकलेगा उससे ही आशा या निराशा निर्भर करेगी. I think, okay. Karol.
Could you please confirm if the External Affairs Minister is traveling to Israel and Palestine between 16?
Well, External Affairs Minister, as you know, had announced at her press conference that she would be traveling to Israel and Palestine. I can confirm to you that she would be traveling shortly. Dates, exact dates I cannot announce to you because, as you know, the announcement is coordinated with the countries that she is visiting. But I can confirm to you that she would be shortly visiting Israel and Palestine.
Is there a possibility of NSA's meeting before the foreign secretaries?
There has been no discussion with Pakistan on this particular matter. Yeah.
So after the Mazar-e-Sharif attack, there was a bomb blast outside the Jalalabad mission. So the whole, it was indicated it was not targeted at the Indian consulate, but it was outside the Pakistani guest house, and I read reports that it was just a kind of a decoy. So what do you have to say to
No,
that?
our information is that the blast took place 400 meters away from the Indian consulate, and 400 meters is a fairly long distance, as you know. So we were luckily not targeted in that particular attack.
सर क्या आप ये चीज क्लियर कर सकते हैं कि अगर पाकिस्तान एक्शन लेता है तो 15 तारीख को बातचीत होगी?
देखिए, मैंने कहा है पहले हमें एक्शन पहले हमारे सामने आ जाने दीजिए, उसके बाद मैं सब कुछ स्पष्ट कर दूंगा. नो, आई थिंक वन क्वेश्चन ईच. इज दैट ऑल? ओके. नहीं, मैं ये आप कह रहे हैं, मैं कुछ नहीं कह रहा हूं इस पर. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू.